I'm Ian, this is Dungeness, and this is the Enlapse Tiki Mini Plus. What is the Enlapse Tiki Mini Plus? Well, it is effectively a 4K time-lapse camera. And I know it doesn't look much like a camera. I mean, it didn't to me when I first saw it, but it is. It can shoot high burst mode, it can shoot events and very, very long-term time lapses. And I'm talking that can shoot for weeks, for months, and even years, so long as you have an adequate power source as well. So what do we have here? The main unit, which is the Tiki Mini Plus. And it literally is just a white box. It doesn't have much of an interface by way of a on-off button, which is here. Then it has its connectivity here, which is hidden away by a splash-proof and weatherproof cover, which includes your micro USB slot right there. It has your USB charging ports, and it has your micro SIM as well for extra connectivity. Here you have your sequence toggle on and off switch. So you can use this switch rather than using the app to begin a sequence that you've already programmed or stop it as well. And finally, this is your power cable for your external solar power module. So if you follow the cable down, you'll find that a solar panel is right there, weirdly facing the sun. So the Tiki Mini Plus actually has an incredible battery. When fully charged, it can actually run autonomously, shooting at intervals of 10 minutes for up to 4 months. We've got the Tiki Mini Plus mounted to this tripod here. So I'll just show you a little bit about kind of what extra features we have on here. So obviously we've just got our standard tripod screw mount there. Here you'll find a metal loop and it's incredibly sturdy. A lot of people are going to be using this camera to shoot long-term projects, which likely means that you're going to have the camera out for extended periods of time. As for the solar powered unit, it also has an attachment point here. So it's got a ball head with a pivoting attachment here, which means that you can pretty much attach it to any surface at all. And obviously you can pivot it, point the solar powered unit to the sun to power up the camera. So don't worry, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to control the Tiki, but not before telling you a little bit about this scene and what we're hoping to capture here. So this is probably just outside the Tiki's comfort zone, I would say. This camera is primarily, kind of like I said, is there to capture kind of quite a lot of motion, kind of a highly dynamic scene with a lot of movement. This is not going to exactly give us that. So you're probably wondering, with such limited amount of buttons and controls on the actual unit, you're probably wondering, well, how do we actually control the actual Tiki Mini Plus? Well, everything is done via the app, and the app's obviously available by the Play Store and obviously the Apple App Store as well. So long as you program everything for the Tiki within your phone, if it loses connection after you've programmed everything, it is going to be okay. So you don't even have to set the camera to record from the app. You can do that, but so long as you set it up from here, it will record all of your settings onto the unit itself. If you then lose the connection, you can always come back and just click the actual sequence start button here or stop it as well. So we're going to leave this to run now. I'm going to make a few corrections probably to the way we're actually framing this. I'll try and make my mind up as to whether one will shoot 110-degree dewarp or 90-degree dewarp. I'm not sure as to what I'm going to do yet. And then basically we're going to let this run for the next 4 hours and see what we get. So after a couple of days and nights of shooting with the Enlapse Tiki Mini Plus, I think I've got a pretty good idea as to who it's for. Now, it's no coincidence that Enlapse themselves use footage from construction sites, for example, and restoration to show kind of the long-term abilities of the Tiki Plus. Now, here in Dungeness, we've actually tried to get a bit more artistic with it, with mixed results, as you've probably seen. And the reason for that is that it's got limited control in terms of aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, which is your exposure triangle. So I would say that this really is for documentation, showing something happening over a period of time, whether it's days, weeks, or months. So what do I really, really love about the Enlapse? So Firstly is the weather sealing. The weather sealing is fantastic. The battery lasts a long time. So if you shoot at 10-minute intervals, for example, you can get 4 months of battery life out of this, which is pretty impressive. That's without even using the solar panel or any other power source. So that's really good. And obviously all of these things combined mean that you can just leave this out as long as you need to. I'm not sure you're able to do that or would want to do that with your expensive mirrorless camera. Number two, it has white balance lock. So obviously when you're shooting long-term projects, whether it's day to night or weeks or months or whatever, it's going to be going from daylight balance and sometimes into tungsten balance. So this allows you to actually lock that in place to make sure that you get the look that you want. Number three, it has live view. So it means that you're not guessing as to what your framing is going to look like. With this, you can have a little bit more control in terms of how your image is going to look. Number four, it has true view. So within the live view app on your phone, you can actually also select as to what the lens is doing. So obviously the lens has 120-degree viewing angle. So you can have it on the wider setting. You can then have a 110-degree setting with distortion correction, as well as a 90-degree setting with distortion correction as well. Number five is adaptive interval. So it's the ability using the app to actually control the interval that it takes photographs. And I don't mean how many images it's taking necessarily every minute or every hour, but also kind of how long you actually take those images for in terms of how long the unit will be outside. So you have tons of control in terms of how the camera is operating for your time lapse. And finally, you have rotation settings. So there's full control on the app as to how the rotation of the actual camera is managed. So that's whether you want to shoot horizontally or vertically as well. So all that's left to say is, how do I like the Enlabs Tiki Mini Plus? Well, to be honest with you, like anything that is new to you, there's always a certain degree of learning about the product. Now, it wasn't particularly easy to set up. All the connectivity issues going from Bluetooth as well as using the Wi-Fi, I was pulling my hair at points. But actually, once you learn how to use it, it's actually surprisingly easy. Now, the interface is very good and it's been improved. Now, what is important to mention is that once you have everything set up within the app, and you're happy that the sequence is set up properly and you press record, even if it's scheduled for a later date, you don't have to worry about connectivity. Everything that happens from your phone gets copied in here and that is stored. So once you lose connection with your phone, that is ready to go. And that is something that I did actually like about it. However, I think that Enlabs do need to do a little bit more work with the stability of the app to actually make using this product a little bit more enjoyable. But overall, a fantastic product, and I would say a unique one as well. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.